How's it going, everybody? My name is Chase Keep and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a super interesting video lined up where I'm going to be going over 5 frugal living hacks that I used myself over the course of the last 9 months from August 2019 through May of 2020 that allowed me to save just under $30,000. All 5 of these frugal habits are probably strange and unconventional for a lot of people watching, but if you really want to save as much money as you possibly can, you can literally start doing these today, implement them in your life, and I guarantee you, you will start saving some money. Now yes, all 5 tips are strange and unconventional, but if you're someone who's trying to look into ways to save as much money as you possibly can, I can guarantee you that these 5 frugal living hacks will work for you. I'm going to be going over these 5 hacks in descending order. I'm going to start with the one that saved me the most amount of money over the course of those 9 months. So if you're ready, let's get started right now with the first of my frugal living hacks. This one is going to be regarding rent. Rent is almost always the single largest percentage of most people's spending over the course of a month or a year. And that was entirely true for myself as well. About 80% of my monthly spending went towards my rent. And while that is a pretty large percentage, the number that I actually spent, the amount that I actually spent every single month in rent is actually significantly lower than it could have been. And that's because I made a very interesting lifestyle decision this last year that has really paid dividends. For those 9 months that I was living in Los Angeles, I actually lived in a co-living apartment. I shared a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with 3 other guys. Each of us had basically these little pods, and there'll be some pictures on the screen right now that kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And I get it, most of the people watching this video are probably thinking that I'm an absolute lunatic for choosing to live in that small of a space with 3 other guys. But the fact of the matter was this: I got to live in that apartment for $750 per month, and this is in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And for people that don't live in Los Angeles or New York or any of these super expensive places to live, $750 probably sounds astronomically high, especially when I'm sharing a room with 3 other guys. And I totally agree, it is a pretty high number, but the average spending, if you want your own bedroom in this part of Los Angeles that I was in, you're actually going to be spending close to $2,000 per month. So instead of paying $2,000 per month, I was actually paying $750. That means I was saving myself $1,250 every single month that I was there in Los Angeles. And for 9 months, that means a total saving of $11,250. That is a ridiculously high number to be saving based on one decision. To put that into perspective, I saved enough money over those 9 months to completely cover my living expenses for an entire extra year. And for everybody out there listening, I would just highly encourage you to always take advantage of situations like that. If there's ever a single decision that you can make that could do something crazy, like cover your living expenses for another entire year, I would just absolutely encourage you to do it. Even if that decision just seems absolutely crazy in the moment. I never thought that I would be someone who lives inside of a little wooden box, but I totally enjoyed my time there. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, and the amount of money that I saved made it completely worth it in the end. And that's going to wrap up my conversation on rent, but if you're really interested in learning more about my experience in this co-living apartment, I'm going to make a video about it here in the next few weeks or even days. So if you don't want to miss that video, the best thing you can do is subscribe to my channel. There's a little button right below this video, wherever you're watching. Scroll down to it, click that subscribe button, and when I make a video about my experience of living in a co-living apartment, you will see it right away. Again, the best thing you can do, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that upload. Thank you for the subscription, and with that, we are going to move on to the next big frugal living hack that I want to share with you guys today, and that is going to be about food. And technically, there are 2 hacks that are kind of built into this one, but I'm just trying to clump them together and say that it's one frugal living hack because they're both concerned with food. The first of these frugal living habits is very straightforward. Basically, don't eat out. Over the course of my 9 months in Los Angeles, I almost never went out to eat, not for any meal, unless someone else is paying for it for me. This is the easiest way to cut down on your food expenses, especially if you're someone who eats out for almost every meal. That means going out for lunches, going out for dinners, even sometimes going out for breakfasts. You will save yourself so much money by just making food at home and not going out to restaurants. For the last 6 months, my monthly spending on food has been just around $90 or sometimes even a little lower. That equates to just about $1 per meal. That's right, $1 per meal. Imagine going out to a restaurant and buying a $1 meal. You're not going to find that deal unless you are going to a fast food, specifically eating off the dollar menu. And I can guarantee you that eating from home and making your own food at home is going to be exponentially healthier and better for you than eating off the dollar menu at McDonald's. So this is a massive tip of advice I would give to anybody that is trying to cut down on their spending. Don't eat out at restaurants. Just make the exact same food that you would get at that restaurant, but make it at home. You will save yourself so much money and still get all the positive benefits from that food. And the second tip that I would give for anybody who's trying to live frugally when it comes to food is actually something that changed the way that I eat food forever, but I absolutely love it. It saves me so much money. I basically eat the exact same thing for every single meal every day. Every single day for breakfast, I have oatmeal and a banana. For lunch, I make myself a peanut butter and jelly with some chips. And for dinner, I have rice, black beans, and green beans. That is literally it. That is all the food that I buy. Every single time that I go to the grocery store, I only buy for those meals. I don't buy anything else, and it saves me so much money. This is the frugal living habit that got me from spending about $150 per month on food down to about $90 where it is right now, and it is huge. It is so massively important, and I can honestly tell you that I haven't seen many negative side effects from eating this. I have never once gotten tired of any of these meals that I'm eating. I always look forward to my bean and rice dinner. I always look forward to my peanut butter and jelly lunch. And just the fact that I still enjoy those meals after all this time of only eating them just shows you that it's really not that big of a deal. It saves me money, it saves me time. I never have to think, what am I gonna have for dinner? What am I gonna have for lunch? I never have those debates. It's overall just such a benefit in my life, and it's just something I would highly encourage for anybody out there. Try eating the exact same thing for all your meals. I know, again, just like everything else that I've probably said so far, it sounds crazy, but I guarantee you it will save you money, and if that's what you're going for, this is the best way to do it. And those two tips make up my frugal living hack when it comes to making food. The next one is another contentious subject, but it will save you a bunch of money if you're able to implement it the way that I did over the last 9 months. And this one is concerning buying a car. If you're someone who's watched a decent amount of my videos, you will know that I am a person who absolutely would tell you to not buy a car if you can afford not to. The thing about cars, and the reason that I really am against ever owning one, and the reason I probably don't want to own one for any time in the foreseeable future, is that they are just so freaking expensive, and the costs just keep on coming. The longer you have it, the more expensive it'll get. There are just so many payments that come with owning a car. You have to pay a monthly installment for the car. There's interest on those monthly payments. You have to pay for gas. You have to pay for maintenance. Like anything that happens to the car, you just have to pay money to fix it. And then the list just goes on and on. And if you're living in a place like LA, you have to take into account that you have to pay for parking everywhere. It's almost impossible to find free parking anywhere in a city like Los Angeles. My advice for everybody out there is this: try to live, maybe even spend a little bit extra to live within walking distance of where you work or where you're going to be spending most of your time. Or just live in a place that is right on a bus line, or right where a train station is, or a subway, just anywhere where there's really good public transportation, just anything that you can do to cut down on the cost of owning a car. Because honestly, not owning a car is a decision that will pay itself off in the future again and again and again. I promise you that. Now, if you're someone who just really wants a car, like it's a lifelong dream to own a car, there's a specific car that you really, really want, then totally go out and buy it. I would never tell you not to. But otherwise, I would advise anybody out there to just avoid owning a car, especially in today's world where, honestly, there are so many options for transportation. You can Uber, you can Lyft, you can find scooters and Bird everywhere. You can walk or take public transportation. There are so many options. So again, unless you absolutely need one of the biggest frugal living hacks that you can do is to not own a car. That is a massive thing that you can do to save yourself some money, which brings us to my next frugal living hack of the day, which is going to be saving yourself some money by only drinking water. And I'm realizing with each of these frugal living hacks that you guys are learning just how weird I really am, and it's totally true. But this next one is going to be even weirder, I actually only drink water. I almost never spend money on anything other than just water. I almost never drink soda. I can probably count the number of sodas that I've had in the last year on one hand. I mean, I just never drink it. It's not something that I'd ever go out of my way to buy. And honestly, I don't ever have it unless someone gives it to me or there's just a free soda sitting there. I also don't drink coffee. I've never been a coffee drinker, and I know that's probably strange. So many people these days are extremely reliant on coffee, but it's just never been something that appealed to me, so I just totally avoid coffee altogether. And as if not drinking soda and coffee weren't already weird enough, I actually never drink alcohol. I've never had a sip in my life. I've never had a beer. I've never had wine, anything like that. I've just never had alcohol. And I've talked about this fact on one of my videos in the past, actually 10 things that I don't spend money on. So if you do want to, go check out that video. There will be a link in the top right corner. But basically, I just don't buy anything other than water. It's the only thing that I drink. It's basically free no matter where you get it from. You drink from the tap, you buy a Brita filter and drink that water from the tap. And one of the coolest things about water is not only is it the healthiest option out of all of the things that I've listed above, out of soda, coffee, alcohol, water is the healthiest of all those options, but it's also the cheapest. And because of that, I really don't think that I will ever really deviate from this habit. I will always just drink water. It's free almost always, and it's the healthiest out of all those options. It's the best for me, so I will just continue to do it. And this one hack has easily saved me thousands of dollars over the last few years. I'm 22 years old, and a lot of the people that I know, a lot of the people that are my age, they go out and they drink all the time, whether it's soda every single day or it's alcohol every single night, and they're spending triple digits every single month on just drinks alone, sometimes even every week. And if you're looking to save money on drinks and just live a bit more frugally, this is one of the best pieces of advice that I can possibly give you. Just try to drink water. Try to cut out all of those other possible drinks from your life. Focus on water. Again, healthiest and cheapest of all the options, so it's kind of a straightforward choice in my mind as to why you would want to make that switch. And the final frugal living hack that I've got for you guys today is this. Over the last 9 months, I have really prioritized experiences over material things. And basically what I mean by that is this: instead of trying to go out and go shopping and buy some things that might make me happy in the moment, I just try to focus on anything that I can do for free with other people, or that's a minimal cost with other people that I will remember forever. Going on a hike with your friends is free. Going to the beach in LA is free. Going to see the Hollywood sign is free. Those are just examples of some of the things that I've done in the last 9 months that have meant a lot more to me than spending money on like a new shirt or a new pair of pants or some new shoes or just something like that. Like anything that you can do that is a free experience, you should absolutely try to do that instead of just spending money on anything that you might not need. And here's why this is one of the biggest frugal living hacks that I can possibly give you. Not only is it going to save you some money, but it will also just enrich your life. Spending time with other people and doing things that will create memories that you'll keep with you for the rest of your life, that's priceless. Not to quote one of those Nationwide commercials, but that's just something that you should always try to do. Instead of just spending money, it will always be more worthwhile over time. It will pay itself off over time. So I highly encourage people, look into this. Instead of going on a shopping trip and buying things for yourself, try to, if you're going to spend money, spend it on an experience that you're going to remember forever with some friends or with family. But there you guys go. Those are the 5 main frugal living hacks that I used in my life that helped me and allowed me to save about $30,000 over the course of 9 months. And I'll say it one more time, I know that these things are strange and unconventional, but if you're looking to start saving some money in your life, you can start doing all of these in the next few days, in the next few weeks, or in the next few months, and they will save you money, I guarantee that. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun to make. This last year was a lot of fun for me personally. I was able to just enjoy life so much and save a lot of money along the way. So I hope that these tips are able to help you and inspire you a little bit. And if they did, please remember before you go to turn that like button blue. It helps get this video pushed to more and more people. It just helps the YouTube algorithm so much and helps my channel so much. It would really mean a lot to me if before you left, turn that like button blue. If you have any questions about my frugal lifestyle, please leave them down below. I respond to every single comment and I promise I will respond to yours. And again, like I said earlier in the video, if you don't want to miss an upload where I talk about my co-living experience, where I talk about my $1 meals, the best thing you can do is subscribe. You'll never miss an upload if you subscribe right now. As always, I hope you guys are having an amazingly frugal day, and And I will see you all again next time.